Here we go. We got a match on Cicada. A team full of randoms and one guy versus a team of people who I assume don't really know each other. Deadman Foot has accused me on multiple occasions of being a spy. So, pretty sure it's in jest, but sometimes there's no telling with internet people. Team 1's ANS, Team 2 is OSP. Looks like half the OSP team is already dead, which is unfortunate. That's really going to hurt their chances. I need a laugh track on here. Anytime I do something like that, just a really terrible, like distorted 144p laugh track. It just sounds like a chorus of demons. That is... I have a feeling the ANST is just going to push right down middle. Look at how tightly concentrated those ships are. Guess I better be quick in the exposition phase here, where we browse around the ship teams. Mass driver might be part of a mass driver array of keystones. Interesting to see on Cicada since it's such a close-in map. Oh yeah, that is exactly what that is. Mass driver, mass driver. Oh man, he went dedicated on these. Nothing but mass driver ships. No point defense. Couple energy regulators, and that's it. That's downright menacing. Whole lot of guns. Another ship with very little point defense. Whole lot of guns on that Axford. Some guns and a launcher and a little bit of point defense on this ship. The randoms are going for the gold. Beams, guns, very little point defense. Oh my god. This is the most unhinged build. What does poor Maxwell bring into this fight? Fighting Voxel. Fighting Voxel. And E-War Reigns. Okay. Let's go see what the OSP team has. If anyone's bringing missiles, they're gonna win straight up with the severe lack of point defense. On the ANS side, looks like we've got some guns with robust point defense. Some more guns with robust point defense. More guns with robust point defense. Oh, an MLS2 roll-off on these two ships. Not that many missiles. These look more like finishers, probably, given the complement. But they could do some serious damage on the other team. What are these? Just miners? How many mines these got? 24? 24? Bloodhound. Plasma monitors. Yeah, the OSP team here is very reserved. Strong, well-rounded fleet. These mines could be devastating, though. If the random brigade trips into them, because without any point defense to handle mines... Oh, man. This... I don't know what kind of a game this is gonna be. All I know is it's gonna be whack. This high-speed Solomon, which is apparently equipped with sun drives. Raider, one dragon, one raider, and a pair of whiplashes. Oh my. He's just burning flank straight at the enemy team. Looked like he almost made it up to 30 meters per second. What in the hell is going on? Ooh, got into range of these mines as they're being laid. That's going to completely shut that down. And it's going to expose that the OSP team is in fact laying mines.
The enemy is securing Zone Atlas.
It's like the beam can't quite get the angle, but he's still going to have enough to shut this tug down at least. Mine launchers downed. No DC teams. No, one DC team. Two DC teams. And it looks like one restore. So might be able to get that mine launcher online if it's being managed. Some AMMs going off to bumfuck to Egypt. I see they're trying to go all the way up there. Okay, look at that strong PD. Doing work, that's what you want to see. Missiles come flying in. A&S team is taking quite a gamble with this sort of metagame. It's become pretty common for A&S to go absolutely crazy on the point defenses, especially defenders, to defend against container ships. And these guys have taken the gamble that, well, obviously the OSP team aren't going to be bringing defenders to the party, or aren't going to be bringing missiles to the party, because A&S usually just loads up on point defense. So they're rocking no point defense, or nearly no point defense. And are going to abuse the hell out of that assumption. No missile hits. One missile hit, maybe? Maybe two. And that cannon, probably just one. Broadsiders are not going to be able to do that much. Yeah, not if they're firing HE at that Solomon at these rates. Well, it looks like they're firing at an Axford. 450 HE can damage Axfords, but only if it hits. How's this Solomon doing? He's just, yeah, he's having a good time. Just kind of hanging out, floating around the battlefield, being a menace to society. Mine coming in, probably gonna cap this sprinter. I don't think that Solomon's in range. It isn't. Ooh, that's dead. Yeah, and that reactor's critted too. Could be a problem. It's gonna eat another mine. Scouting that those mines are there are useful. Is useful, I should say. Voxel's coming over the top. Opening up on this monitor team. Oh, a couple hits from the mass driver team going into the monitors as well. This could spiral out of control really fast. That mass driver array, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 units in it, which is an absolutely unreal amount of firepower. Another huge risk, of course. Solomon's taking a great deal of fire from these casemates right in his booty. Seems to be happening a lot lately with people just having their engineering sections pointed towards their opponents. I'm not sure why that is. What is that point defense firing at? Mines. Uh-oh, another scout's gonna get caught. Bonk, bonk. And that is dead. Yeah, pretty much instantaneously. Is this still going up? Yeah, it's gonna go up, and it's probably gonna catch the Ocello. So, Rain's taken down. A damn shame we can't see the timer on this. Only the player who pilots this ship can see the timer on it. Some missiles going into these already damaged monitors. PD is not strong enough after all the previous missiles. A little bit of wastage up there. That's okay. After the previous mass driver assault, I should say. These are reorienting. Trying to get an angle on these line ships over here. Oh, there it is. Oh! There goes that. And just catches the Ocello. That's unfortunate. This thing was already pretty damaged, and now it's really pretty damaged. Missile fire coming into these monitors. I'm not really sure what these are being fired at. They might be being blind fired towards this array. Oh. Something's gone wrong with the tracking on these missiles. Or this monitor fleet is national dodging champions. Or misses. These monitors are putting up a fight, but they won't be for long. Well, they will if the voxels aren't pointing their nose towards their targets. Ah, probably semi-actives, and the illuminator wasn't running. Some missiles, some mines maybe as well, going into this Solomon. Counter-firing with hybrids with decoys in them. We get a successful hit on that engineering section, but not do that much damage. Reactor's on fire, which is bad, obviously. But, oh boy. Solomon's definitely losing that engagement. Especially if these will hit instead of going off into that rock for no reason. The missile control I've seen today has been abysmal. More rock hits. Ooh, and one strike to the engineering section. Strike to the center. Yeah, this Solomon's losing this fight and losing it pretty severely, which is good news for the OSP because I think the monitor fleet up here is just about done. And there's this tug is still in the battle. That's out. That's out. That's basically out. Yeah, it's now out. T-30's gone. Any restore? 3 restores? Yeah. Couple restores, spraying DC lockers. Yeah, I don't think these are going to be able to come back to life fast enough. The mass drivers trying to land some hits. Looks like they've landed a few, but not that many on this team over here. This Ocello's still in the fight. Dumping some rounds onto this very battered Solomon. OSP has yet to take their own point, their natural point. And they are way behind on the point game. Looks like the scout's about to be ended. That scout's about to be ended, and if the scouts are all done, and the line ships that are doing all the damage don't have targeting radars, that's a big problem. Okay, these have pinpoints. Where are those going? Over to the Solomon. Oh, looks like another... low tracking fire. There they go. They catch him. They catch him. Oh, man. Clonk. Right into the midships. Main beam. CIC's busted up and on fire. Main DC is busted up and on fire. There's a spare CIC, fortunately for the Solomon. Although Citadels are incredibly hard to kill in the first place. But he has absolutely put this thing through the ringer. Now these have stood back and dumped out, well, not damage exactly, but firepower for sure. But setting everything on fire is pretty useful. They just haven't quite had the teamwork to do the follow-ups. Usually what's under fire from the mass drivers is under fire from nothing else, which you want the opposite of. You want the mass drivers to be supporting whatever else is in combat. And Solomon's on its last legs. Still got some guns. Still in the fight. Still dishing out the damage. But it won't be for long. Too bad it couldn't capture Bravo. That would have been pretty funny. Man, these things are tanky. That was so many bullets, and they didn't really do that much damage. That volley, at least. Most of the damage this thing has taken has been from missiles, I believe. The gunfire from this team and this team has been strong. Oh boy. AMMs are not enough. Looks like that E-War Reigns is just about out of it. And these voxels are getting pounded too. From below, it's going to knock off one of the lower cannons. CIC, more Citadel CICs. Reinforced on this. The Citadel is on this one. On the other one is red. Yeah, reduced firepower. Certainly not out of the fight. But they might be soon. Ooh, this got grayed out. I guess the CIC burned down. Or a gunshot might have deleted it. So that is out of the fight. Which means we got this Foxhole on the front line and this Solomon. And now the Axford is coming up and getting involved. It's a good time for that. These boys need the help. Bravo is finally taken by the OSP. They're only down 254 points. This ship. How are you alive? How are you alive? Got roasted in a reactor bloom. Took a whole bunch of fire from a Solomon. Took a fair amount of fire from mass drivers as well. Speaking of, what are these firing at now? They're not sure what they're firing at. I think they're trying to get an angle. Oh no, no way. It's gonna have to be one of these. Looks like this team is burning around. Might be trying to get around this rock and onto the backside of these mass drivers. All those mass drivers have to fight with are, well, mass drivers. So if these can get in kind of close to where their cannons will do work, they will out-damage them by a pretty wide margin. This Voxel's still alive, technically. But I don't think that's going to be going on for much longer. The other spectator has left like a coward. Does not want to see the end of this. Probably called the match early, as I have done so very many times. And been wrong so very, very many times. Where have these been this entire match, by the way? Where have these been? Where have y'all been? I haven't been seeing out much in the way of plasma. There's been a little bit of plasma going into these voxels. But not batteries like that. Where were you guys when the Solomon was fighting? Whatever. Maybe I just missed him. These ships are getting, oh my, torn to pieces, and that's probably going to finish off the other. Yeah, there's no way this is coming back. No restores. Just a CIC and a hunk of metal. A lot of damage coming out of these mass drivers onto this line ship fleet here. And now that the Axford's firing in support, this thing is going to go down fast. Solomon's trying to do the Solomon thing where they resurrect from certain death. Why are you mad? Motherfucker, you're winning. Sort of. Militarily, anyways. Certainly behind on points, but, ANS is very quickly running out of ships that can fight. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. That's not very nice. Look at all the guns on this Axford. Also that, I think rails are kind of bad here. Which is why I was so surprised to see those come out.
The enemy is securing zone atlas.
All these rail shark people are wrong. Although this is a pretty good micro study of the Nebulous culture. Half the player base on every single weapon says this is garbage and completely worthless, don't use it ever. And the other half the player base says this is completely busted, it's the strongest thing in the game, it should be removed, it's too powerful. Children. He's gonna, for all his complaining and all of his problems with being debuffed to hell, he's gonna capture Alpha, which is a big deal.
The enemy secured zone atlas.
So Axford can recap, but if that Axford goes there, it's gonna be opening itself up to fire from a variety of different angles. Looks like these ships are just taking cover from the rails, forcing someone else to deal with that problem. That's pretty funny. Maxwell has left. Ah,
The enemy is
yeah,
securing
that's
zone
understandable. And Solomon's ejecting life pods, which means it's really just this Axford left in the fight. And as those mass drivers without support. Oh, it's probably one of those blocks. That is the Solomon. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Yeah, all they really need to do now is kill this guy, cap Alpha, then everybody hard burn to Charlie, and mop up the remains of this fleet. Because mass drivers on their own aren't really going to do that much.
The enemy
Looks
secured
like
zone
the stores aren't being managed. I keep thinking those mass driver shots are going through the Axford instead of the ship right next to the Axford. He's taking cover behind it. Ooh, it's not quite enough, though. Hey, look at that. A probably less than genuine apology. But it's fine. This guy has been an absolute treat. He was being pretty silly in the lobby. I think I already mentioned this. He's calling me and another spectator a spy. And got to RP as a Kremlin agent for a little bit there. To mini chuckles. Man, once these things get plasmaed, they don't deflect anything. All those hits right into the ship. Some going through. Some meat shots penetrating the Axford. That is an unbelievable amount of efficacy those plasmas are having. Well, all that's left on this thing are a couple of CICs. A lot of the guns are down. All the electricity is down. I don't know how you run your combat information center without power on the ship. I guess they got a bunch of 9 volts taped into all the consoles. Well, they had those. They had those on these ships, all forward and scouting. But now that there are no scout ships, and these things don't have radars, they don't have radars, they don't have pointers, they don't have anything. All they have is vision. They're gonna miss all of their hits. This fleet is built. All these random guys
The enemy is securing zone
and built their fleets around each other, which I really respect. But they didn't quite have the coordination that requires. But it was cool to see it. And these 6 railguns on one team is
minutes remain.
you don't really see it. You just don't. Because point-wise, it's not very practical. These are both just Mangonel class. I have no idea which one is which. Civilian range and bloody nose. Okay, so it's this one. Yeah, I think you'd be surprised, buddy. These mass drivers, if you can take out this voxel, those mass drivers are going to be blind.
The enemy secured Zone Atlas.
Shout out the drive. So that's getting repaired now. Yeah, see? And with almost no internals, they're not very tanky. Just takes a few shots to take one down. No restores, no damage teams. Basic CICs. You start one fire and the CIC and the ship is dead. Or in the magazine. I don't know. Do railgun rounds explode? I'm not sure. I mean, they shouldn't, since they're just metal being propelled by a magnetic system. I don't have any accelerant or explosives in them. The energy regulators probably should, or maybe the mass driver should critically explode. I don't know, but I don't think the magazine would. This is so dumb. Is this what we've come to? It's two groups of ships at knife fight range. The mass drivers just off into space. Voxel's trying to help so hard with his cannons. But he's taking fire from these line ships.
The enemy is securing Zone Comet.
And the OSP is going to be able to secure Charlie. That means the game's pretty much over for the ANS fleet. None of these ships are going to be able to have any cap potential. The Voxel's drive is down and one of its reactors is down. And then these just die so fast. Do the teensiest of attacks. I'm surprised at all these deflections. I don't really see deflections on Keystones. What are you firing? 250 AP. Maybe 250 HE. Even still.
The enemy
It's
secured
impressive.
Zone Comet.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summation of what happened here. Because those mass drivers were doing a lot of damage. A lot of debuffing, starting fires and things. But all it took was this one Ocello to get on top of them and they were done. So they didn't have any rails. Or they didn't have any, the other R word, radar. You can't shoot at things if you can't see them. Some of these destroyers are trying to get out, but I don't think that's really practical. Yeah, there we go. Hit him with something kind of weird. And that's that. Well, that was another pretty intense back and forth. What a smoke space we... You know, everybody's got their motivations. And if yours is drugs, then that's fine, I guess. I've heard worse motivations for killing someone. So, you know. That's what gets you motivated, Chief. Ready for this AAR. Really want to look at those rail ships. See what their damage numbers were. I want to see what their accuracy rate was. Especially there towards the end, it was pretty bad. Grubby, dirty hands. Instead of surrendering, this guy's just wasting everybody's time with making our local Bertolotta kill them manually. Ah, good. Here we go. Line ships and save the day. I love the liners. They're so weird. They don't belong in combat at all, but they work. Oh, good. Oh, great. And everybody got mysteriously DC'd from my lobby. Except for this guy. Maybe I am having weird networking problems. Okay. Take a look at these mass drivers. 97% accuracy. 115% accuracy. Hello? 88 expended, 101 hits. I guess this counts. Yeah. Yeah, these have to, like, count each compartment hit as one hit. So those numbers aren't very helpful. How did this Solomon do? Where you at, buddy? 17K, not bad. Forced the OSP onto the back foot for a real long time. Kept them off of Bravo. This was in general a real menace. So Axford doesn't add that much, unfortunately, even with all the 250s, which are great against the OSP. Just didn't have enough time on the front lines because by the time he got up there, he didn't have any teammates to fight with him. The Voxels were mostly down and the Solomon was totally down. And so the entire OSP team was able to just blow him up. These Voxels didn't do that much, 15K. It's not terrible. Yeah, it's like these guys built their fleets around each other and then didn't coordinate them, which is super weird to me. 'Cause I feel like that would be the whole point of building your fleets around each other, that they would coordinate. Pretty abysmal efficacy on those missiles, which is unfortunate. Alright, how do OSP do? Alright, so here's the guy who was complaining that cargo liners were terrible. Okay, not amazing. But did pretty fine considering how much fire he took. I think he was on par. Yeah, roughly on par with this Voxel team. We've got this guy and his Ocellos, which went to town on the Voxels and then on the Destroyers. Quite good, quite good. Standoff 450s. That's a cool 38,000 damage across these two. I guess this guy's the MVP. I wasn't watching him that much. Well, because most of the time he was just bombing at the Solomons. The Solomon, singular. Or the Voxels. And then the Axford eventually. And then finally the Destroyers. Yeah, he was there for every battle. He probably shot almost every enemy ship. There's a monitor team and the tug team that got cracked by those Voxels pretty early on. Yeah, didn't really do that much. Just didn't have enough time for the plasma to get out. I thought, okay. For some reason I was thinking that there was another group of monitors, but I guess this monitor group just sort of resurrected itself for the fight with the Solomon and Axford after it got pretty tore up in the Voxel fight. Interesting. Alright, that was a really good match. And, bye.